Welcome back to Just Giants with Grump and the Cranky Fan, the best damn podcast for the best damn football team. I am your host, the Football Grump, and with me as always is Mike, the Cranky Fan. Cranky, it's Sunday night. This is a rarity.
It's a Sunday night. It was a rough weekend for me. I was down in Knoxville with all those Tennessee rednecks. It was a tough one. Florida, you know, I know this is not the Just Gators podcast, but we played three top 10 teams in 4 weeks, and we've had two one-score losses and a one-score win. So it's been a pretty difficult September, and it's pretty mentally exhausting. So got home this morning, get some rest. I'm glad the Giant game is tomorrow night on Monday night to give me a chance to kind of revive and be ready for a big NFC East showdown. Grump, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, having a rough September. The Giants are 2-0, and we're back to doing a podcast where we can bitch about the little things not working despite that winning.
That's very true. That's very true.
The Giants haven't started 2-0 or won in their home opener or won their opening game since 2016, which was the year in which we decided we should do a podcast because we felt everybody was being a little short-sighted in their team's success. So we're back to that. I'm happy to be doing that. That's what we wanted to do from the beginning. It'll be the first time we've ever been able to do it. We can do the show that we always set out to do. And I'm excited for this matchup. I am stoked to go to this. I am stoked for the whiteout game. I am pumped for a Monday night game for once. You know, we have multiple times over the course of this show bitched about what it's like being in a Giants crowd. We've bitched about the stadium. We've bitched about, just general things that this team has to be good to get the most from its fans, just based on its market. And Monday night is something that's been in the crosshairs of our complaint box since forever. Yeah. And I think a whiteout game is a perfect way for a overachieving team to bring the noise when they typically just don't historically on Monday night unless they're really, really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, win-loss record kind of washes away a lot of the things we've just been complaining about. If this team is good, we're not worrying about MetLife Stadium and the size of the hallways. It's when you're going through another 3-12 season, it's like, damn, this stadium is cramped, all the things we complain about. So this is what it's all about. So what that it's week 3 in September or week 15 in, early December. This is what we've been, this is why we do all these shows in the off season. That's why you guys watch all the draft analysis and why we, spend so much time watching and following and loving this team. It's games like this where you're playing a bitter rival for bragging rights, not just bragging rights that are the highlight of your season, but, being 3-0 and leading this division and honestly, at the moment, leading the conference, it's uncharted waters for a long time for this franchise and definitely sets up for making the next couple of months not only watchable, but, must-see TV because now we'll really start watching Eagle games more and, Packer games and all the other things around the league that have relevance to us, not just there's Giant football and then there's the NFL that's something distant. It's all one right now until, like you said, we're overachieving if we come back to earth or we don't. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get to that tailgate nice and early and away we go.
Yeah, speaking of Eagles games, I was watching the Eagles-Commanders game today, and that went just about the way I expected.
Same.
Score was 24-8. It was 24-0 for, I think, since the second quarter on. It was ugly. And was it you that was saying that, like, Carson Wentz actually turns the ball over more than Daniel Jones? Was that you that I was talking to that said that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he looked... I don't know. He looked twice what Daniel Jones is accused of being in today's game. He was literally just chucking shit up. I mean, just heaving things in any direction. I think he was stripped maybe 3 times in this game. It was
it
ugly,
it's
ugly.
such a.
Washington sucks. I mean,
Oh, I said that.
they might really have to fire Ron Rivera.
I mean, I think we said that during the prediction, early
Yeah,
the week. I think my one statement was Washington sucks.
I think
That's
it
just a
was.
rudderless team right now. There's no identity for it. They're just flailing. And, Ron Rivera, maybe he's on the hot seat now. Maybe doesn't last this year. I mean, I don't know. It seemed to be a good hire at the time. I think it's just a culture of just patheticness that's just choking this franchise.
Yeah, well, that's kind of their problem, I guess.
Exactly.
Moving back to the Giants' problem for this game, lots of good things to hear. I personally am excited. We're hearing a lot of good things about Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari. Tibbs is almost a sure thing playing. They're both listed as questionable. Ojulari, I feel a little less hopeful for, but they both seem to be roughly at the same place in their recovery.
Yeah.
We have not yet seen this defense operate with their two stars rushing the passer, which is what this defense does, is rush the passer.
Right.
Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, any contribution we get's going to help. I mean, if one or both of them play, I don't expect them to play 75 snaps. I think, based on the injury and the recovery, I mean, they're doing everything they can to get these guys back on the field. So, if we see Tibbs 25, 30 snaps for his first taste of, don't forget it's his first ever game in the NFL as well. We've kind of been alluding to this most of the offseason ever since the injury of there's no reason to rush this guy back just because, he has a whole career ahead of him. And I think they'll be a little cautious. And I think also, his conditioning and everything. So, I expect to see him play, but again, in little fits and spurts, just getting started and getting ready to see for next week and the week after a more, fully incorporated into the defense. It would just be great to have him out on the field at all, though.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's going to work. They're both. I like both of them as draft prospects because they both are very disciplined against the run. They're both very good run edge defenders. But like you said, they probably shouldn't be on the field for every single defensive snap. But this is kind of the week where, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the defense here. This is probably the best week for us to not even need them in their full capacity, but it would be great to have them added. This is a good week to have Jihad Ward, back there. Shane Zimmerman, not so much. But
he's still playing well, though.
He is still playing well. But I think, last week we saw a huge deployment of defensive backs. The first week we saw a huge deployment of linebackers. I think it's going to be linebackers again this week.
Mm-hmm.
I know Dane Belton was not available in that week one matchup, but I think that a lot of that just has to do with Christian McCaffrey being more dangerous in front of the line of scrimmage than behind it, I guess. And I don't think that they're going to feel the same way about Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard with Cooper Rush at quarterback. So I think they're going to be keying in on shutting down the run the same way they kind of did in week one, where they needed to shut down. Go ahead.
Absolutely. This is, I agree with you. This is the best week to be playing this team because, again, when Cooper Rush has to play last week, and it's a recurring theme we've been talking about, not that much film on him. Now that he's playing, we can see what he did last week a little bit. I
mean, he throws some prayers up there, man. He made some really, really bad decisions.
Right. So to me, it's just like stop the run, force him to have us try to beat us. And something, if some of those prayers are answered, God bless him. But something, I'll take my chances with that. So you're right. I expect to see more of a traditional set lineup back there, more linebackers back there, more keying on stopping the run. Let him beat you, and if he does, good for him. But he's still Cooper Rush, and I know as much as we debate Dak Prescott in this team, Cooper Rush is not Dak Prescott.
No, you're totally right. And the bigger struggle for me in this game, and what's really going to be the bugaboo, I don't think is going to be. Part of it is going to be I really don't think Leonard Williams is going to play, and that sucks against the
Yeah.
run. It does.
Yeah.
But this team has defensive tackles. You know what I mean? They have some big bodies. None of them are going to stack up the way that Leonard Williams does. But it's not like Leonard Williams being out leaves us completely unable to stop the run. I think. I hope.
It'll be a good test. We'll see.
Yeah, it's true. But this team does have a whole bench full of defensive tackles, big body guys to pair in there with Dexter Lawrence. So they're going to have to step up. But the real chess match isn't. I expect Kellen Moore to have tricks up his sleeve when the running game doesn't work. And we saw some really creative play designs last week, for Cooper Rush. There was a really cool wide receiver screen where basically they have like a bunch set on one side that runs go routes, and then somebody runs like a big crossing route. So it's just essentially a screen. It's a big wide receiver screen. Those 3 go routes just are blocking routes, essentially. And it was on it's when you play prevents defense, you have all the DBs off, so it just becomes a big blocking exercise for a screen pass. It's just cool shit like that. I think Kellen Moore has a really good brain for that. So it's going to be up to Wink to adjust if he can stop the run first. I feel pretty good about that, and I feel pretty good about bringing pressure to Cooper Rush. I think that he is going to just start chucking balls in directions. I think there's a strip sack or 2 that's possible in there with him back there. I feel actually pretty good about this defense coming back. Now that I know I feel like 90% that Aziz and Kayvon are going to play, I feel pretty good.
Well, this is also going to go back to what we were talking about, the crowd, where if this is a normal Giants-Cowboys game of the last decade, you probably have it, 70-30, 60-40 Giants-Cowboy fans, and it almost feels sometimes like it is Arlington North. With the 2-0 start, with the emphasis on having a color rush and having the crowd is going to be as much whipped up in a frenzy as a Giant crowd can be, for a Monday night game, I think, increased crowd noise, disruption of, snap counts and things like that will come into play. What doesn't normally happen in this venue and in this kind of rivalry game. So I think that's another advantage to help the Giants that we may not normally have. Now, if this game was in November and we were 3-8, that may not be the case. But I think right now, the way the stars are aligning, that's going to help them with a backup quarterback with limited snaps under his belt.
That's a brilliant point. Bringing the noise is just an added thing. Any advantage that we can get, it's super effective when you've got an inexperienced guy back there trying to make the calls. Any audibles. Especially when he's got like 10 guys on the line of scrimmage across from him.
Because remember, last week Cooper Rush came in to beat Cincinnati, but that game was at home. This is on the road. This is a whole different animal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, in talking about that game, Cincinnati it's like they're allergic to protecting Joe Burrow. I don't know. They figured out how to score points in the second half, and let's get into that. So what Cincinnati finally realized is that they needed to stop the pass rush because they couldn't block for it. So they calmed down after halftime and they started running the ball, and all of a sudden they were putting points on the board, and that game went down to the final seconds, right? It went down to a field goal, I think, right?
Last second, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of, let's flip it to the other side of the ball. Are you worried about this Dallas defense and what we've seen from the Giants offense thus far?
Absolutely. Our pass blocking has not been good this year. And this is a game where, Daniel Jones is going to have to win this game for us. And again, I don't want to make this into an exercise of, well, let's talk about his next contract and who the next quarterback is. I'm talking about winning a game. And, you can lean on the running game and have him be a game manager all you want, but there's going to be games where he's going to have to win you a game. And that starts with, there's going to be a pass rush. He's going to have to use his legs almost as much as he's going to have to use his arm. He's going to have to be nimble in the pocket. He's going to have that sixth sense behind him of a pass rush coming. He's going to have to be smart holding on to the ball and not the foolish turnovers that have plagued him at the wrong times throughout his career. And he's going to have to make plays. He's going to have to make throws. I think that the game plan is going to be the same against the Giants as we've seen so far is one, stop the run, force Daniel Jones to beat you. The thing is that pass rush is going to make it more difficult for him to do it, but he's going to have to step up. And so to me, this is a Daniel Jones. It's on you, buddy. You have to play well to beat this team.
Yeah, and the Cowboys are coming into this pretty hurt. Jaron Curse will not be playing. That's one of their safeties. So there's a number of guys that we could mention that we have to watch out for, but let's just stick with the main ones here. Up front, you have to worry about Micah Parsons.
Of course, yeah.
He is the he's the queen chess piece that moves around the board there.
And he's going to get his. I mean, he'll probably have a sack or two. The question is, how do we minimize the damage from those?
Yeah, he's really just like going to come in and cause disruption. So they'll move him around wherever he can go in and bang around and just move guys out of the way. He's going to do it. So I expect that they're going to hit Josh Azudu and Mark Lewinsky pretty hard. I don't think they're going to risk sending Parsons in Andrew Thomas's direction too much because it pretty much erases him. And I think, honestly, the same thing with Evan Neal. I think if Evan Neal can get his hands on Micah Parsons, it's going to nullify a lot of what he does. So I expect a lot of internal pressure from Parsons. I think that's where he's going to screw things up for us. And like I said, the Giants, the two ways to slow down a pass rush is a really good screen game and a really good run game. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen this team operate a really good screen game since like 2008 and 2009. So I'm going to go with we had some success running the ball week 1. I think they should not fuck around and just slow the pass rush down with that. Quick, easy throws to the outside and run the ball, slow down the pass rush, let them get frustrated, and then start hitting them with your offense. Start moving the ball downfield.
This could be a super fast game with two teams that are just going to keep trying to run the ball and establish the run. And, again, on the other side as well, Dallas is, they're going to be concerned about a pass rush, especially, if Tibbs is playing. So I think you're going to see, we're going to look up and be like, wow, the first quarter's over already.
Yeah,
because there's just going to be so much, action on the ground.
And punting.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to worry about, Trevon Diggs. Diggs, to me, plays the corner position like a rattlesnake, I guess is the best way I would describe that. I don't really know anything about snakes, so I hope this is right. Okay. But, I mean, he likes to play off coverage. He likes to bait. He doesn't really like to be in sticky coverage. He doesn't want to eliminate players from the game. He wants quarterbacks to throw at him so he can pick it off. He counts on his athleticism to recover. He puts himself intentionally at an arm's length so that he can speed up and undercut routes. That's what he likes to do. That's what he's made his money doing. But he can be had by superior athleticism. And we saw it last year with Tony. Tony made him look stupid. That being said, I don't know if Kadarius Toney's going to play in this game. It's looking like, I don't know, maybe not. We don't really know. It seems like week to week, I never know which wide receivers are playing anyway. But my point is, hit this dude with double moves. Attack him. Don't be afraid of him. He over-relies on his athleticism, in my opinion. And way too much will leave a distance between... And a nice pump fake will get him to bite, especially if he hasn't seen any action for a while. The Giants aren't throwing the ball a lot. He's going to be looking to be that guy to make a spark play, and he can be had. That's the best thing, in my opinion, is don't be afraid of Trevon Diggs. Just understand how to attack him, and that is to just frustrate him with short things he can't undercut and then hit him with, double moves.
So Grump's crystal ball has Kadarius Toney playing a lot more snaps than we've seen
It would be if he didn't show up on the injury report at the very end of the week, with the hamstring injury. So I don't know if he's playing. If he is playing, I use Tony to exploit that. That's what I do.
Okay.
Special teams, the only thing of note for me, they need to be aware of Kevontae Turpin. Seriously, don't screw around. It's not worth it. It's just special teams. Punt it out of bounds.
Right.
Seriously, just punt it out of bounds. It's not worth it. Cranky, give me a prediction.
Well, I've been rather bearish on this team. I think I predict them to lose the first 2 games of the year. I wanted them to kind of show it to me that this team can win. I'm happy to report tonight, Giant fans, that I think Monday night will be the night that I finally predict them to win, and they will win. I think this team has a lot of confidence, and I think that confidence they are getting from their head coach and their coaching staff. I think this coaching staff really believes in them. You could see it by the play calls, the decision making. This is a coaching staff that is coaching to win. And I think that confidence and that, trust is permeating down to the players. This is a very, very winnable game. I know it's a Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people predicted them to win the division before the season started. They're wounded right now. Whenever you play a team with their backup quarterback, you should go in there with the mindset, we're going to beat this team and beat the shit out of this team. And I think they will have that mindset. I don't think they're going to try to, scheme around to try to survive with a win. I think they're going to try to win. I think your Wink is really going to have a game plan to go after, make Cooper Rush's life as uncomfortable as possible. I think, like I said, I think this is going to be kind of a Daniel Jones coming out party a little bit. I know we're in year 5 of waiting for that. I just have a feeling he's going to make plays. And I'm going to predict a Giant victory 21-10. And we're going to walk out of MetLife 3-0 and in first place in the conference.
Wow. I'm always afraid of optimistic.
Yeah, because it's almost
fan.
always wrong. But I think tonight I'm going to do that.
No, but I'm thinking that this is going to be a victory as well. I don't think it's going to be as big of a discrepancy as you do. I think that we're going to have a little bit of trouble stopping Zeke Elliott. I think Kellen Moore is going to give us frustrations, but those will not turn into touchdowns for Dallas, and that's where the Giants get the advantage. I think the Giants end this game 23-19. Everybody stays in their seats until the final closing seconds because it is that close and that exciting, that good of a game. And I predict that we are talking shit the entire way back, and neither one of us gets a good night's sleep because we're so amped up from how good of a game it was. That's my prediction for this game.
I like it. I think that's the first time we both predicted a Giant victory in several years on the same day.
In several years. It probably happened at the beginning of last season.
Possibly.
Probably the last time we both, yeah. It's been sad, but not anymore. I'm not sad anymore. I am wearing my only Color Rush jersey, my Eli Manning one.
I will be wearing the same.
And wow, look at that. I guess I didn't really have a choice. It's the only Color Rush one I have. I don't really. They introduced the Color Rush jerseys at a time when there was nobody worth buying a jersey for except like
if you want to buy a throwback.
Stars. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the Color Rush, it looks cool. I personally am. I still think we have currently the best uniforms in the NFL. The NY and the very basic blue. But people like the old ones, so that's fine.
Yes. I don't care. Whoever's there, I'm going to personally bully anybody there that's not wearing white. I don't know.
That sounds like the tequila talking.
Well, it being a Monday night, I will say I'll dial back the party for that.
But that doesn't mean there will not be a party. We'll be at lot L17 with the Talking Giants crew. I think that's
I think it's catered.
It's a catered affair. So and they're inviting come one, come all to that. So come
One,
tell
come all.
this. Yeah, we'd love to meet everybody. That whole crew will be there. Our friends and all will be there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to you know, at least the expectation of a big important division game in early September, a game that means something, and that makes me happy, makes it all worth it for us.
And we will not be doing an episode Monday night. That will be reserved for Tuesday night, which means that it will be in your feeds Wednesday morning. So on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, etc. That is where the episode will be and when it will be.
You know what? You know what would be great, Grump?
What's that?
If everybody who listened gave us a 5-star review and a nice rating, or actually a 5-star rating and a nice review. Let us know what you think of the show. The ratings really help us. So we don't normally grovel and beg for it, but if you could, that'd be nice. As the season's getting started, and we're getting more and more people listening to the show, so we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, we're trying new things with the show and changing things up a little bit at a time,
Yeah.
trying to make the best show possible. So,
and
your
subscribing
thoughts and feedback are appreciated.
And also subscribing to the YouTube channel, so you get to see these beautiful kissers, twice a week, and so we can get more people to enjoy our good looks and our brilliant takes about the New York Football Giants. So if you could do that, we'd appreciate it.
Of course, you could follow us on Twitter as well at @football_grump, at the Cranky Fan, where you can just tell us your thoughts of the episodes there.
Yeah, we'd
great
appreciate that.
episode, Grump. That was a great prediction. You were spot on. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I was. I was 1 point off for both Panthers and the Giants last week. I'll do better this week. 23-19 Giants.
Yeah, and Cranky, your baseball team sucks and is circling the drain right now. So
You
we're
already
here to
get
rub it in.
those.
So go for that too. Sure. Appreciate it,
everyone. We will see you all at the game tomorrow night, or tonight, Monday night, and then we'll see you again Wednesday morning when we talk all about the Giants win. So we'll see you there. Go Giants!
Go Giants!